At the end of today's session of the Undercover Policing Inquiry, day 16, we've finally completed the evidence of Geoff Sheppard. It was his third day of questioning. I'm joined with Jessica, who is not on screen because she's got privacy and you're not allowed to know what she looks like. Jessica, what do you think of the hearing?
It was very repetitive. I think at some point someone had shuffled his questions with the ones that he'd already asked back onto the top, and I think I did that about 3 times because the questions were going over and over and over again. And I have to say we were a little bit fractious in the public gallery. I mean,
just to say quickly, apart from the fact that the same questions were asked repeated times, think how Geoff feels. He went on trial for this stuff in 1995, and we're talking particularly about the ownership of a shotgun, which Geoff had in his possession when his house was raided on 28th of May 1995, and resulted in him getting a 7-year prison sentence.
Yeah, I think it was the 26th of May because it was actually his birthday. So, that's, which I could almost see them doing deliberately, because I think they'd have a good old laugh at that. But, well done, Geoff. The fact that he's put his hands up to what happened, and he's told the truth, even when, it doesn't particularly look good for him. It's like that's something that these Spycops bastards could actually learn. The fact that it's just own what you did. Doesn't matter how it makes you look. If you did it, just put your hands up, just say you did it. Nothing's going to come of it. But I thought he was really honest and and very open. And where he had, if he wasn't telling the truth, he had the opportunity to push Rainer under the bus, but he didn't. He told the truth, and that is that's quite shocking and surprising to actually see, in this inquiry. Particularly talking about the officers, actually, not the CPs.
Yeah, there was a lot of repeated questioning about the firearm, and the incendiary device that he built or whatever. But the thing which really stuck out for me was the letter that we saw, the handwritten letter that a HN1, cover name Matt Rainer, had written to Geoff when he was in prison, which really displayed a really a really disingenuous warmth. He talked about how the two of them and their respective girlfriends at the time had spent this time together. It painted a really picture of really close friendship, and someone who was really cared about Geoff. I think Geoff was really impressed by the fact he said that if he'd had kept his bitterness about it, he'd have died of cancer years ago, and that he was just didn't let it affect him. I think I'd have been a lot more livid than he was. There was a lot of times where he was given the opportunity to be to express himself emotionally, and he just didn't take those opportunities.
Yeah, I think that just shows the sort of person that Geoff is. I knew Geoff back in the day, and I liked him. I would have described us as friends. I really liked the guy, and nothing has changed really. I see sort of somebody that I don't necessarily disagree with his views, and the fact that he's owned a lot of this stuff, but also the way that he was played, by Lambert and by Rainer, it was, Geoff was in some ways I think was the sort of person that would happen to, because I think he's a genuine person, and I don't think he sees the duplicity and the bullshit and all the other stuff that that was done to him. I just don't think that he sort of saw that at the time. I think he was an easy target for these scumbags. But it's sad to see that they still targeted him even in prison. They were still reporting on him when he was in prison, and this pleading letter about, I'd love to hear from you and all this sort of stuff. It's, what you wanted him still to spy for you, or you still wanted information through him. It's like, have you not done enough to this guy? There's you know, I admire Geoff and his attitude and that, you know, I don't have an attitude like that. You know, I really don't. My evidence is going to be a lot different to that, you know, but well done, Geoff. You know, it's, you know, my opinions of him haven't changed. You know, I still think he's, you know, he's a nice guy, and, you know, I think he's really he's shown, you know, sort of courage that, you know, these Spycops bastards will never show. So, you know, yeah, well done, Geoff. You know, I mean, I don't know whether I doubt he's on social media somehow. But, you know, yeah, bless him.
Yeah, I definitely came across as a really good witness. I'm afraid, like as I mentioned earlier, I've been up since 3:30, so I think, unless there's anything else you want to add, there's a lot more to be said about Geoff Sheppard's evidence. If you want to join us at 7:00 on Twitter Spaces, that'd be really good. If anybody was following proceedings today, please join and tell us what you thought. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.